student has thrown up. They're pale as a ghost. Like, can you just come? As soon as we get down the elevator, he's like swatting at the air, like literally like, they're coming for me.
Hey guys, welcome to Nurse Talk, the podcast where we talk all things nursing. I'm your host, Mia, and today we have Emily.
Hey, Mia.
Hey. I haven't seen you in literally 2 years.
Yeah.
So we used to work together for about 2 years on Oncology Med-Surg, and I haven't seen her since.
Yeah. So, surprise, I'm here.
Yeah.
It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah, of course.
So I always like to start with why nursing?
I love everything about nursing. I didn't really know that I wanted to be a nurse initially. I thought, I'm destined for something medical, but my aunt in Sweden is a nurse and she was convinced that I was going to be a nurse. And so was my grandma. And I was just like, I don't know if it's for me. And then I got to Chem 2 and I was like, this ain't for me.
Scientists. Out.
And it's so ironic because my husband is a chemical engineer. So it would have been nice to know that he was going to go into that when we met. But anyways, then I was like, I think I want to do nursing. And then I was a tech for a little bit. And I loved being a tech and loved everything about it. Was on like a Med-Surg like joint replacement unit and really liked it. And then I was like, you know what? I think nursing is for me. So then I like decided that I was going to pursue it. And that's kind of where it started.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you started out directly into being a high school nurse, right?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me all about that.
It was like, it kind of fell into my lap. Like it wasn't planned. So after I had graduated from nursing school, I got my associate's degree in nursing initially. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to move home for a little bit and kind of figure out my plan. So I did that. And then my mom mentioned to me, like one of her friends was like, why don't you be the high school nurse? I thought there was like an opening for that. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that sounds kind of interesting. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I applied for it and I got the job. So when I got the job, I didn't even know that I had passed my NCLEX yet.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I was like coming in and they were like, you're going to be at this pay because like, we don't know if you've passed your NCLEX yet. Mm-hmm. And I was going through training and everything for it. And then my boss decided to pull me into a room and I thought I was in trouble. It was like my first day. I was like, what did I do wrong? Like first day. And it's this room full of people, like administrators, like Department of Health, like fancy people. And I was like, what is going on right now? Like, what's happening? And she's like, guys, this is Emily. She's joining our team. And she just passed her NCLEX. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Did they all cheer for you? Yeah.
They all cheered and clapped. And I started crying because I was so relieved.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So that was like the start. And she's like, you're never going to forget this, are you? And I was like, most definitely not.
They must have like just recently checked and like, oh, she passed.
Yeah.
I found out in my car alone.
But that's kind of how it started. And then I kind of just jumped straight into school nursing. There was like a bit of computer training, but then it was kind of like your resources are your SRO officer, so your student resource officer, or EMS if something like really goes bad. So it's like, it's a solo mission.
That's terrifying as a brand new spanking nurse.
It was
like what?
Terrifying to say the least. But it was also like a huge learning experience that I really loved. And I kind of like multitasked and did a lot of things while I was doing high school nursing. Like I got my bachelor's online through USF. And then I was also coaching the varsity girls soccer team. So
that's a lot.
And my youngest brother went to that high school.
Oh, wow.
So like his friends would come by and be like, oh, you're Noah's sister. And I'd be like, yep, that's me.
That's sweet.
Then I'd have some kids that would come and like sit in the back of the clinic and say that they were really sick. And I had this one guy and he was like, oh, I have a really bad headache. And I'm like, okay, well, like you can like lay down for a little bit and I'll come check on you, get you some water and stuff. Like, do you normally have headaches? And he was like, yeah, sometimes. And I was like, okay. Come back there probably 10, 15 minutes later. He's gaming on his laptop. I was like, Sir, no.
He's got the full setup.
I was like, I understand that I'm younger than most high school nurses, but like, no, you're going back to class.
That's hilarious.
So I kind of had to like set the tone with kids because I was like closer in age than like most high school nurses are, and be like, yeah, we're not here to just like hang out and have a fun time.
Do you have any memorable stories from being a high school nurse?
Yes, I do. So the first one that comes to mind is, so they would call us like on a walkie-talkie. Like I had a walkie-talkie.
I would feel kind of official with a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, right? They would be like, emergency in this building, like kid having a seizure in this teacher's room, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
God.
So I run over there. I'm with a wheelchair, like running across campus. And like, so a lot of the kids know me. Mm-hmm. So they're like, Emily, where are you going? And I'm like, I'm going to this building. And they're like, it's this way. And I'm like, okay. And then by the time I get there, the teacher was just phenomenal. She already had the kid on the ground on his side. Mm-hmm. It was like a full-on grand mal seizure, and he had never had one before. So it was very nerve-wracking as a brand new nurse, but like the situation just went as well as it could have.
That's awesome.
And then they took him to the hospital and they got him on medication and everything. And yeah, he was diagnosed with epilepsy.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Thank God for that teacher who knew what to do, too.
Yeah. And I was there to like kind of assist, and then EMS got there, and the EMS guys got to know me very well. They would be like, oh, hey, Emily.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So another situation that I had was, so the attendance office was like backed like right to my clinic, which was kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. So the attendance lady, like one day I'm sitting there either charting on this very archaic system that we had, or doing schoolwork, and I hear, Emily, come help. And I'm like, oh gosh, what now? Like, you just never know. So I walk in there, and there's this girl, and she's just laid out flat on the ground. And I'm like, what happened? And then there's like stuff everywhere. And at first I'm like, did she throw up? But then I realized she was carrying a smoothie, and her smoothie was everywhere. And I somehow managed to get her into the wheelchair, wheel her into my clinic, eyes rolling in the back of her head. I was like, what is going on? So like call the SRO officer, we get EMS there. Turns out like, she just like passed out. She ended up being okay. And like we got her stabilized and everything, and she was fine, but she just passed out, hadn't had anything to eat yet.
I was say, what was her sugar?
And I think they had the blood bus there, and she gave blood.
Which a lot of high schoolers aren't even like, I remember I couldn't even give blood until I was like 20.
Right.
Because you don't weigh enough, and then they don't eat enough.
They don't eat enough.
I feel like high schoolers are kind of like the worst to get.
They really are. And they like, the people at the blood bus like always like offer them snacks and stuff, but I feel like they just like are doing their own thing or whatever. If they forget to eat or... So yeah, that's what happened with her. Then I had another emergency situation. It was... They said, yeah, the student has thrown up and they're pale as a ghost. Like, can you just come? And I was like, okay. I get there. They've cleared out the entire class. I'm asking him, like, did you eat anything? Yeah. Like, what's your history? Do you have any history? He's like hardly coherent. Like, he's like a little bit coherent, but like, he's like, yeah, like I ate something, but yeah. And I'm like, okay, what's going on with this guy? So same thing, get him in the wheelchair. Get him in the wheelchair. Start like rolling him. And it was up on the second floor, so I had to go down an elevator and then back across campus to my clinic and get the SRO officer on. Because as soon as we get down the elevator, he's like swatting at the air. Like literally like, they're coming for me.
I'm like, okay, drugs.
Doing? Yeah. And then he gets in my clinic and I start asking him like, did you take something? Like, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, this kid like forced me to like take his vape pen in the bathroom. And I'm like, well, do you know what was in the vape pen? And he's like, no, like they forced me. And unfortunately, he was like the epitome of like what high school kids would bully. Just how he was is so sad. And then the SRO officer comes in. He was so intimidating. He was like this really big, like ex-military guy. He's like, "What did you take?" And I'm like, "Oh God."
Even scared. No.
I'm scared. I'm not being interrogated.
Yeah.
But yeah, the parents ended up being so upset, and they called the school and wanted to talk to administration, and it was this whole thing. And they were like, "Who forced my child to take this?" And oh no! But he ended up being fine. His parents came to pick him up. I saw him later, and he was kind of like ducked his head, like avoiding eye contact.
He probably tells people about that story to this day.
He probably does.
I wonder if he even remembers being like the weirdo that's like swatting away something.
I know. I wonder if he has like a pure recollection of that, because I will never forget it.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah. And then just like a lot of drama, like with high school. I felt like I was like on an episode of Degrassi, and I just never had that kind of high school experience.
How long did you work there?
A year and a half. So
that's kind of a long time to deal with high schoolers.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it gave you good insight, like when you're a mom, of like having teenagers?
I feel like a little bit, but I feel like we just touched the surface. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like, I just feel like with teenagers, you just never know what to expect. And that's exactly what high school nursing was.
Do you feel like it was the perfect job for you to go to school at the same time? Like, was there a lot of downtime?
There was a decent amount of downtime, but then it was like when things would happen, like they would happen. And then you, like, your whole day would kind of be consumed by that. And then
incident
reports and doing the old charting system. It was literally like a black screen with green writing on it. I'm like, am I being hacked, or is this charting?
Did they give you the resources of like having a cart? Because of course the nurse's office is here, and then you have all these other classes. Did they give you like a cart that you can take that has like a glucose monitor on it and like safety things, or did you literally have nothing and you just had to go and get the patient and then bring them back?
I had like an AED, which like I would grab sometimes, like if I didn't know what the situation was. But like they also had AEDs across campus. Like they had one in the main office, like in the gym, like just different places scattered around. So like there wasn't a cart that I would take with me, which I feel like was one of the other things that was like, there's no preparation. You're going in and you don't know what's there.
I know. It's like, what about like a vital sign card or anything? It's just like, you got nothing.
You go.
You got to go grab the patient, get them in a wheelchair, and then run them all the way back.
Yeah. But if it was like something extremely emergent, it was like EMS would come. Like, I mean, I would like stabilize the patient and then they're out of there. Like, they don't stay with me if something's really wrong with them, which for the most part, like, as far as like people who would come in, like I had, diabetics who I'd get insulin to and that kind of a thing. But otherwise, or like daily medications that kids had to take for.
So you had to do that every day with the same?
Yeah. With the same couple of kids. And then sometimes they wouldn't come and I'm like, I think they had like their own insulin on them. So like it just kind of depended, like if they wanted to come to the nurse's office and just like get it there, if it was easier, or if they wanted to just give it to them themselves. So I feel like with high school boys, they're just not as prepared sometimes as high school girls are. So they just like didn't have the supplies maybe with them. They forgot it at home or whatever. So I would find that they would come to the clinic more often.
Like, I forgot my insulin pen. You need to give me some.
Exactly. So a lot of that, but overall the whole experience was, it was good.
How did you come to the decision to make the change from being a high school nurse to wanting to do like oncology and med-surg?
So I was one of the crazy nurses in nursing school that was like, oh yeah, I'm going to be a med-surg nurse, because I did med-surg as a tech. So I was like, it felt familiar. It was my comfort zone. I was like, this is what I want to do. Like, why would I do something else?
Which is crazy. I think you're like one in a million.
I'm like that 1%.
Yeah.
But I was like, I wanted to move back to Tampa from like my hometown. And my husband was going to school still. So I wanted to be closer to him, and I wanted to move back to Tampa. And I like had this dream of like working at this hospital, and I was just like, I'm going to go fulfill that dream. So I just started applying to like a bunch of like different Med-Surg like units. And this was when I had received my bachelor at this point. So like a lot of hospitals, I mean, sometimes they would, but not as much, like accept associate degrees in nursing.
Yeah.
So I knew that was one of the places that really wanted like you to have your bachelor's. So I finished out my bachelor's, finished out like nursing like at the high school, and then kind of decided that okay, and started applying to a bunch of different places, and then ended up in oncology. And I was drawn to it a little bit because like some of my family members have gone through cancer like several times, and to help someone through such like a vulnerable time in their life is just, I mean, it's life changing, like for you as a nurse, but also like for the patient.
Oh, yeah.
So I think like when I like interviewed and I met the staff and everything, like it just kind of clicked, and everyone was so nice. And
Oh my
like,
God, the manager
amazing.
and the assistant manager, I was like, they are like literally the nicest people ever.
Phenomenal. Like and when she was interviewing me, I'm Swedish. So like my mom is Swedish. So I think I asked her like, are you Swedish? Because she reminded me of my mom's like best friend.
You and her kind of
Sweden.
look kind of,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, you just look so like, I don't know, like, are you Swedish? And she's like, I actually am like Scandinavian, like in my bloodline. And I was like, no way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just loved oncology. I loved the staff. I loved just the teamwork was phenomenal. Like on nights, like it was just great. Like everyone, like you got an admission, everyone was in the room helping you. I don't think I've worked anywhere that it can compare like entirely. Everyone was just so supportive, which was wonderful.
I feel like I worked some night shifts on that unit for like ESI contracts and stuff.
Yes.
And I remember thinking, oh my God, nights are so much better on this unit.
Yeah.
Like nights were really.
Yeah.
There's a couple people I can think of where I'm like, they rocked it every time that they were charge nurse.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was like, this is way better than days.
Yeah. And like we work there towards like, I mean, COVID was still happening. Like I would like float to COVID units and like as like a new like inpatient nurse. Mm-hmm. And I remember getting a report from some people and they were like, oh, they're fine. And I was just like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And like floated to like GI and like all kinds of different places. But I feel like it gave me such a like, I don't know, like all around like wholesome like experience that I was so much more well-rounded and prepared for like what came after that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So overall you enjoyed working on the oncology unit?
And I made like some of my best friends. Like, I mean, Alex and Emma and Rosalba, like I'm still in contact with them.
What are some memorable stories from Oncology Med-Surg?
Wow. There's a lot to choose from.
Honestly, when I look back at my time there, I was like, it was nuts.
Yeah. Reflection, yes, it was definitely crazy sometimes. And I was like, wow, I survived that night. I did that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then other nights it was just like really hard. Like I remember one night, techs on that floor were phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were just amazing, just all around. Like they would go in and like do vitals on a patient, and if something was strange with the patient, they would tell you immediately. Mm-hmm. So I had this patient, and I don't even remember what kind of cancer she had, but it was bad. And the tech told me, yeah, it sounds like she's like breathing underwater.
Need to go in there.
Like, okay, we're going in. Listening to lung sounds, I'm like, oh, this doesn't sound good.
Stat team. No.
Charge?
Yeah.
So I got the charge in there and they were like, yeah, this isn't looking good. Like we need to call like rapid. And so rapid response team came in and assessed, and like they got her hooked up to like a non-rebreather and all this stuff. And they ended up sending her to ICU. And I'm not sure how she ended up doing from there, but man, I was nervous because it was like one of those situations where I was still like relatively new to the unit, and I was like, and then I think Alex was working with me. She's like, just another day in the life. I was like, okay.
Oh, great.
And then, oh gosh, we had another We had a lot of liver cirrhosis patients.
We did.
On that unit. A lot of sickle cell patients. One specific like liver cirrhosis, and they had to have like paracentesis, and it was like an ongoing thing because he had all this fluid buildup like in his belly. I went in and like looked at him, and like he said he was doing okay, and I went to go deal with another situation, kind of like an emergency situation that I was dealing with. And then again, a tech came to get me, said, hey, like this patient is looking really pale. Like, I think you need to come look at them. Like their vitals like weren't great. And I was like, okay, I'm coming now. So I go in there, I'm like assessing him. I pull back the sheets to look at the site. He's bleeding a lot, bleeding a lot.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay, get charged, call the doctor. The doctor just says, apply pressure.
You don't think I'm already doing that?
Okay, I'm already doing that. We've been doing that. They're like, okay, just like put silver nitrate on there and like put ABD pads and tape and like it should stop. We changed the ABD pads and put silver nitrate, I think, throughout the night like 3 times. And this was beginning of shift. So, and I notified the doctor every time, and I was like, wow, this is kind of wild. But it was just, the team was always incredible. Like I said, like right by my side, and said like, you know, how can we help you? You know, and they called me Emmy on the unit, which I really love, because there's another Emily on the floor, and like Emmy is just kind of like holds a special place in my heart, like that name. Yeah. So they're like, Emmy, how can we help you? And they were just always there, and it was great. And like we got through everything together, and I really feel like that's what nursing is about. Like if you don't have a good team, forget it.
Yeah. Wasn't there on night shift? I don't really remember because of course I didn't work nights, but wasn't there like a tech that just kept leaving and taking a nap for like 2 hours? I can't remember whose name it was, but yeah.
Yeah, she we had a very seasoned nurse. Intimidating initially. That tech was not doing what she was supposed to be doing. Surprise. And she just had it. She was like, you cannot be doing this. And told her, like, you need to get in here and help me. I need help. This is what's going on with the patient. And like, thankfully she went in there and helped her. She was in there. But yeah, everyone kind of had ongoing issues with her. But anyways, and then one day I was standing like at my computer finishing up charting, and it was end of shift, and came up to me, and I was like, oh God. And she was like, Emily. And then there was another Emily on the floor. So I was like, she's not here today. She's talking to me. Okay. Emily, I just wanted to say that you're just one of the best new nurses that we have on the floor. And I was like, I like died inside. Like I cried tears of joy internally. Like I was just like, okay, like I'm doing good. Okay, cool.
That's awesome.
Like, which is like so like reaffirming, because like I feel like as a new nurse, you just don't know sometimes. And for someone to like just say to you, you're doing a good job, especially another nurse, is just, it changed your day. It changes your perspective. So I try to do that more with nurses who are new. Like, I'm like, you got this. You're going to get the hang of it.
Yeah.
This like was how I started. And like, these are the struggles that I experienced. It's normal. It's normal. And I feel like when you normalize, like, I guess fear, then you feel better about it. You go into it being like, I can do this.
Absolutely, yeah. When you were on the oncology unit, you got chemo certified.
The chemo certification was like quite tedious. You had to go through like this whole testing process. Were you chemo certified?
No.
No. Okay.
So honestly, I never did it because one, I ended up going part-time on the Oncology Med-Surg unit because I was working for COVID jobs.
Oh,
and I was making so much money doing that I went part-time doing that and did that COVID full-time.
I didn't even know that about you. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I was working like 40, 50 hours on COVID because it was just, and then I would do the bare minimum there.
I see. I see.
But I didn't want to become chemo certified because one, it's a lot of work and I just didn't have the time. But two, you only get paid extra if you do all the extra work for clinical ladder.
Yeah.
And then I feel like the chemo nurses weren't given a better assignment because they were chemo nurses. So they would have just as many patients as everyone else and then also have to do all the chemo on the floor. So it wasn't like oh, okay, I'm the chemo nurse. I can just focus on this today.
Right.
Or I'm a chemo nurse today, so I only have 4 patients. But I also understood when I was there that like there's no way I can do this forever. I found it very difficult to be on the cancer unit myself. Yeah. So I always knew like I'm not going to be here anyway, so why get certified? But I guess that's a negative way to look at it. But
yeah. Well, my perspective, I guess, was that I was like, why not? It's something new. It's a learning experience. I really liked the unit and thought that I was going to be there for a long time.
Really?
So I was like, you know what? Why not? I can do it and potentially earn extra money and learn something new. And yeah, it sounds interesting. So let's do it. So I went through the certification process, got certified, and then started training. And then I think when I started training, I realized how work intensive it was, because you would have to go to other units to give chemo.
While you still had your 6
while
patients.
you still had your assignment. So then you would have to have another nurse watch your, if they weren't the ones going to give chemo with you, watch your assignment. So that's
so dangerous.
That feels unsafe looking back on it.
Yeah.
But I feel like I learned a lot with chemo infusions and like how specialized it was. And like, we did just a lot of infusions on that unit in general, because with people who have cancer and get chemo, you know, their platelet counts are down, their blood counts are down. So you're giving platelets, blood, antibiotics, fluids. I counted one night, I think I gave 21 infusions of different stuff. Chemo, like combination of chemo, blood, fluids, antibiotics.
Sometimes they're so sick that you're...
Yeah. So there were definitely like stressful nights there. But like I said, I think the team just made that much of a difference. And like I made like friends that I was really close with. So sometimes I felt like, oh, I'm going to like work with like my team, like my friends, like, because I played soccer growing up. So I was like, oh, this is like, I'm going with my team to like go do a job where I'm getting paid. Yeah. And I was getting paid so much more than when I was getting paid as a school nurse. I was like, I'm rich. Not really, but
no, I remember
when that way.
I remember I was like, I started at $30.90. And I remember thinking to myself, like, oh my God, I make so much money. And I look back, I'm like, girl, but I used to serve tables and just bartend. And, you know, so anyway, I was making like 30,000 a year. And then I'm like, oh, I'm making $30 an hour.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, didn't end up being that much at the end of the year. But you're like, wait, I don't really make that much more, but it's okay.
It's okay. We're saving lives and helping people.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think the chemo certification, I think definitely benefited me, to answer your question.
So you loved it. So why did you leave?
So I hated leaving. It was heartbreaking. I didn't tell anyone that I was leaving until like I think I gave our manager a month, because I had so much respect for her. Yeah. And I just really loved working there, and I was sad that I was leaving. So I gave my manager like a month's notice, but I didn't start telling even my close friends that I was leaving until the 2 weeks.
Traitor!
Because, you know, people like to talk, and I was already sad about leaving because I didn't want to leave, but my husband got a job, so we were moving to another state. Yeah. So I told them, and of course they were understanding and everything, but they were all like sad to see me go, and I was sad to go. And your last night there is always, whenever you leave a job, your last night is always your worst night. We had an epic shutdown, and I had to stay charting late and all this stuff, and it was crazy, and no one even knew I was leaving on my last shift. And
so no one was like, oh, we're gonna miss you. You're like, no one even cares. No.
I was like, good riddance. No, I really did like it there. But yeah, so then we moved to South Carolina, and I worked at a small hospital and did general surgery there, because I was like, I'm going to go back to Med-Surg, but there wasn't really anything oncology available when I started applying. So it's like, you know, maybe it's time for me to try something new. Like, I need to force myself out of my comfort zone. I'm already out of my comfort zone. Why not? We're in a different state.
Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah. So I went into general surgery and was there for a little while, and quickly decided that it was not for me. It was just the nurse to patient ratio, and they were bringing patients to our unit that were like meant for the ICU. And so I was kind of like, this isn't for me. And then I remember talking to like one of my really close friends who's a NICU nurse. And she was like, Emily, I'm telling you, you need to try women's health. Like, I don't know, like, I don't care what you think at this point. Like, I get that you loved oncology, but like, seriously need to try women's health. And I was like, okay, like, sure, Caroline, like, I'll try it. So I like applied to like some women's health and like then some oncology.
So in South Carolina?
Yes, in South Carolina. So I ended up getting interviews. I got some oncology positions and then one mom-baby position. And I was like, I'm going to go into this mom-baby interview with an open mind. I don't really know what to expect. I've never worked women's before. And I met the manager and she was just the nicest person.
Yeah.
And just really connected with her, and she told me all about women's health and mom baby and how she's worked labor and delivery and mom baby, and she feels like I would be a really good fit, which I was surprised by because everything that you hear about women's health is like you have to have women's health experience before going into women's health.
Which is like, okay, where do you start then?
Right. It's like a catch-22. Like, okay, well, you need experience. Well, then how do you work there?
Literally, like, how does anyone ever start?
Right. Anyways, so I did the interview and just really connected with the manager and got the job.
That's awesome.
And got an oncology job and then was kind of deciding between the two. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a leap of faith and we're going to trust Caroline and trust God and say, this is the right path. So I went into it with just such an open mind, and like within like right off orientation, if not before, I was like, I think I'm meant to be here. Like I was just like, this is the most like heartwarming, like positive
literally
aspect of nursing that I've ever experienced in my life.
It's like when you come from an oncology unit where people are experiencing the worst,
right,
and then you get to experience like the first couple hours or days of like a new baby being born.
Yes.
The vibe, I mean, you can't even get polar opposites, and it's like amazing.
Yeah. It's just it was an amazing experience. And I would joke with my patients, but it was kind of true. They were like, oh, what is your like, they always ask because they're curious. Like, where have you worked before? Yeah. Like, and I'm like, yeah, I actually worked oncology and did chemo infusions. And they were like, oh, what? Really? It was just like going from an atmosphere where a lot of the days were like sad and like really hard sometimes to going to where pretty much every day is like a blessing. It was just
it was a real shock for me.
A shock.
When everything, like 99% of your stuff is bad.
Yeah.
To 99% of your stuff is good.
Right.
You're like,
right.
This can't be real.
I'm like, this isn't real. This seems like a little bit too good to be true.
But I think that people who didn't experience 99% bad don't understand how good the 99% good is.
Yes.
Like they don't get it.
Yes. And I think it's all about your perspective just as a person, as a nurse. Like I was talking even with my husband, like if you have a positive perspective on going into anything, you're probably going to have a positive outcome, which is how I try and go into things. So I just had such an amazing experience like on Mom Baby. My coworkers were incredible, incredible. Just like took me in and they were like, tell us about your life and like, we love you and it's so cool that you travel all the time. And like, I just was like, this is such a like wholesome group of women. Like and even now, like looking back, now that I've moved back to Tampa, they're all still hanging out, loving on each other, loving on each other's babies. Like it was just small town vibes. And I loved it. Like it was just so cute. Like looking back, like I really missed home a lot. But for the most part, like working there, like that was a saving grace. Like I would pick up contracts. I would work like 4 nights a week for like a month at a time, like get a bonus at the end. And people would be like, this is crazy. Like, how do you work like this? Like some people are like, I can't pick up contracts like that. And I'm like, you don't understand. Like, I love this. Like, I love this place. It's so amazing.
It's such a life-changing thing when you love what you do.
Yes,
And
it
it's
really
like you can't wait to go. Like
yes.
work is easy when there's babies waiting for you on the
Yes.
other side.
And like the parents too, like when you meet some of these parents, like just the gratefulness that they have, like it just really hits you. Going from, oncology where people are vulnerable and like because they're vulnerable, emotions run different. So when you're experiencing this amazing life-changing moment as a person and then you're so appreciative of your nurse is just it's awesome. Like I don't really know how else to describe it, like to even put it into words, but
Yeah.
it's amazing.
I wanted to see like what an average day of a mom baby nurse is like.
Oh gosh, it can get busy.
Yeah.
And like I feel like when you say, "Oh, mom baby nurse," oh, you get to cuddle babies all day. Nah, not really. I mean, sometimes like if you get lucky, especially like I feel working nights, that's why I love nights. Like it's a little bit slower paced, you get to know your patients a little bit better and you get to know the baby's names and everything and it's just so sweet. But I think the average day is kind of like you come in, you get your assignment and you can have up to 4 couplets, which means like mom baby is a couplet. So 4 couplets or 3 couplets. Usually they try and give you 3, which you're like, that doesn't sound like a lot, but you have 6 patients still.
Yeah.
So it can be a lot depending on what's going on with your mom or your baby, between gestational hypertension and like, gestational diabetes and the baby being small for gestational age or large for gestational age and chasing sugars for the baby and then potentially them having to go to NICU and tachypnea. We get a lot of tachypnea, so breathing really fast. But that's kind of what makes it busy is it just kind of depends on, how stable your patients are going in.
Yeah.
And usually mom baby is like a healthy unit and it's very like regimented. Like it's like, okay, at this time, like we're doing all our fundal checks. We're doing like baby's vitals, mom's vitals, taking baby's weight, seeing if they need help with breastfeeding or bottle feeding, if they have any questions, education. I mean, education on mom baby is like, I feel like one of the things that I love most. Like teaching someone about their baby and they're getting to take home like the most precious thing in their life now and get to teach them about how to take care of that.
That's really cute. Yeah.
It's a miracle.
I get to experience it too, and it's so cute. Especially the ones that are like don't know anything. You're like, okay, so when you grab their head, you have to go like this underneath their shoulders and their head, and then you always have to grab, and you're just like teaching them every little thing, and I love it. It's like my little favorite part. I'm like, give me all the new parents that don't know anything, so I can tell them everything.
Yes.
I love it. It's so cute. And then the only thing I'll say is like sometimes if you're in a rush and they don't know how to change the diaper and it's like 20 minutes, I'm like, this baby has already peed and pooped again. I'm like, that's where I'm like, put your smiley face on.
Some of those G1P ones, bless their soul. I mean, they're sweet and they really want to take care of their babies well, but they need a lot more help and TLC than the moms is like their third baby. They're like, okay, I got this by myself. And I'm like, no, I'm actually like here to help you. You don't have to do everything independently.
Take a nap. It's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. I got the baby for now. Like, I'll check everything. Like, I'll clean this. Like, so it's just completely different. But overall, it's so wonderful.
So what are some memorable stories being a mom and baby nurse?
Gosh, we've had some moms that have had to go to ICU, which is always stressful. Like I had a patient when I was working in South Carolina, mom baby, that they think she was like going septic and she had to get transferred to ICU and like her like level of consciousness was just not really there. And there was also a language barrier. So it was like twice as hard to like tell if she was interpreting what you were saying and then like giving an adequate response because her husband was kind of translating for her. And I think even the language, like they didn't even have like a translator for her language or something like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was just like a combination of language barrier and then just everything that she had going on. And then obviously they were very nervous about, what's going to happen with the baby and all this kind of stuff. And the baby ended up staying like on the unit with us, and the mom had to go to ICU. And that was definitely a really stressful night. But like I said, the team was just awesome. Like I had so much help. Like the charge nurses there, like were always just on top of it, there to help. Like you have questions, like always ask, which I'm like that anyways. I don't care if I'm going to bother someone. I'm going to ask you the question.
Yeah, same.
I'm going to call if there is a legitimate concern in the middle of the night. I will call the doctor. Like you're there for a reason.
Yeah.
So it was just, that was one of the situations that I experienced. There was another, like I said, I have a lot of tachypnic babies. But when I was working Mom-Baby, I had a tachypnic baby, and the mom was just really nervous about it. Like she was like really stressed about the baby being tachypnic, and I think we were like doing vital signs like a lot more often than we typically do. And so I was going in and listening to the baby, and the baby's still tachypnic, telling, the pediatrician the baby's still tachypnic. Okay, well, I don't know if they even had room in the NICU at that point. So we were kind of like just watching the baby like being tachypnic, took O2 stats. The O2 stats are fine. So it's just kind of like back and forth with tachypnea with babies a lot on Mom-Baby.
Yeah.
And like, we don't want them to go to NICU, and the parents obviously don't want them to go to NICU.
Yeah.
And that's very heartbreaking as a Mom-Baby nurse, having to send a baby to NICU, because it's like, we want your baby to stay with you. Like, we don't want your baby to go to NICU.
Yeah.
Your baby doesn't want to go to NICU.
Yeah.
You don't want your baby to go to NICU.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I think that is just one of the most difficult parts about Mom-Baby nursing, as well as just having to send those baby to ICU that need to go, and then watching, especially those first time moms, just break down crying, and you're their support person, and you're just like, I'm here for you. Like, this is the best thing for baby. Like, they are in an environment where nurses are going to keep a much closer eye on them, and you'll be able to go visit them at any time. And then once they kind of understand that, they become more okay with it.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you have a preference between liking taking care of the mom or the baby more?
I honestly was asked that recently at work. Like, we were having a conversation about it, and we were like, do you prefer moms or babies? And I can't say that I really prefer one over the other. Like, I honestly love taking care of both.
Oh,
like
that's perfect then.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I feel like I really found my place. So yeah.
Okay, so you transitioned from Mom&Baby to L&D. Was that when you moved back, or how did that happen?
Yes. So when we moved back to Florida, I was applying for jobs, and I remember in the transition period, like from my South Carolina job, I told them like, yeah, like I'm leaving. I had given my notice and everything. And they were like, Emily, no, like you're leaving, like same thing. And I felt very sad about it. But then another part of me felt very happy at this point, because I miss my family and my friends so much that I was just ecstatic to move back in that degree. But I was also like nervous of like, because everyone was telling me like, oh yeah, like women's health positions are much harder to come by in Florida. Like, you're going to have a hard time finding a job. The job market's weird, all this stuff. And I'm like, it's nursing. Like, nurses always have a job, and they do.
Yeah.
So then one of the nurses was like, why don't you try labor and delivery? Like, you're moving anyways. You might as well just try it. And I was like, you know what? I love me a change. Let's do all the changes at once.
Oh my God. I can't think of anything worse.
So then I was applying, and I got interviewed for labor and delivery, and kind of decided on this one because I connected with the management and the team and felt like it was a really good fit. And started on days, because they have you like kind of orient to days first and then switch over to nights. And I was kind of passed between a lot of different preceptors when I was there, which for me was very disorienting, because everyone teaches and does nursing differently, no matter where you are.
Yeah.
And then we had 2 hurricanes back to back. And so it was kind of just a lot of chaos along with the chaos of the job, if that makes sense. So then I got transferred over to nights and I was like, okay, these are my people. Like, this is going to be better. Like, I'm going to like it more. And I did like certain aspects of it for sure. And some of the team there was just, I mean, phenomenal. Like we had like a charge resource nurse that was just, I mean, amazing. Like in the room, like answering all the questions that you could ever have. But labor and delivery for me felt like starting over as a new nurse, which was a little bit terrifying. But it was also like you're running for stat sections all the time. Like at every turn, there seemed to be an emergency because it was such a high risk facility. So I was like, this is just not for me. I kind of slowly started to figure out. And then I was like, okay, like from here, where am I going? Am I going back to Mom&Baby or am I going to try something different again? So then I spent a lot of time thinking about it and praying about it. And I just decided, you know what? I think I'm meant to go back to Mom&Baby. Like I loved, and that was the thing. I loved recovery and labor and delivery because we have them 2 hours postpartum. I was like, this is my element. I love it. I'm teaching them about breastfeeding. Like, and that's when I kind of knew, like, I was like, I need to go back to Mom&Baby. Like, that's where I'm meant to be. Like, I'm not an adrenaline junkie. Like,
I'm not either. So what were your least favorite parts about L&D?
I think, like I said, like the chaos, like and never knowing what to expect at like every turn. Like you can go from having like a normal like vaginal delivery and being like, oh yeah, like everything looks good. You know, the strip looks great. And then the strip doesn't look great or mom's not doing well. And it was extremely fast paced. Like
Really?
I am like, let's take my time, educate, get to know them. And like, I love to get to know my patients. And in some aspects, I feel like I did get that because you have the one patient. But if that one patient has a lot of different things going on, then you don't really get to know them because you're so focused on stabilizing them and making sure that mom and baby are okay. So I think that was another aspect of Mom&Baby that I missed, was really like truly getting to know your patients and the education aspect. Because yes, we educate on labor and delivery 100%, but it's kind of like, okay, like this is active labor. Okay, like, okay, now we're ready to push. Like we're going. Like, and then the provider's in the room and like the whole team like came in and helped you for sure. But it was like just totally different from Mom&Baby. And I was told that by a couple of the different nurses when I worked labor and delivery, like, oh, you were postpartum. Like postpartum nurses are really different from labor and delivery nurses. But then there were a couple of like postpartum nurses that worked at labor and delivery with me and they transitioned fine and they liked it. So I think it's just kind of your perspective and how you like to do things like within the nursing world, I guess. Yeah.
Do you have any stories you'd like to share from L&D?
I had a twin delivery, but one of them was a demise at 27 weeks. And then the other one had made it to 37.
Oh, wow.
So
That's a long time to...
Yeah. So I was delivering a dead baby and a live baby. And that was like, I'm definitely not made for this. Like when I left, I was like, yeah, I'm not made for this. And we had demises like where I worked on postpartum in South Carolina. So like I was somewhat mentally prepared, but seeing it like in action, like in the birthing room is just something completely different. So, yeah.
I didn't even know it was like safe to allow a demise to be in there for that long.
I didn't either.
Because you would think like at some point mom would get sick or
something. I didn't know that either. And I was like shocked when I got report. I was like, okay, but I was like, everything's gonna go fine. And it did. And it did go fine. Like that, you know, the other twin like survived, but it was like a very interesting delivery because it was such a bittersweet moment for
like, how did the mom react?
Like she was happy, but then you could also see a part of her was like just down. because it's a joy, but also a heartbreak at the same time.
I can't even imagine the mental toll of one, being in the room in general.
Right.
But two, being the mom.
And that's what I kept telling myself. I'm like, I'm not even the mom. And this is like how I'm feeling. And like we were talking about before, like taking stuff home from work. Like, I think that is one of the things in nursing that you truly have to like learn to separate work and your personal life, because that is how you will like best succeed, because you have to kind of compartmentalize, because some of the stuff that you witness as a nurse is not meant to be brought home.
No.
So,
and I don't think you'd be able to see it in any other capacity
yes,
like we do.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's definitely a little niche mental health area.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
for
sure. And then we had some like sad stuff like with drug addicts coming in. That was really hard to see. And then being like, I mean, they were in active labor at this point, and like they couldn't get anything because of like all of the drugs and stuff that they were on. And it was just, that was heart-wrenching. That was really heart-wrenching. And I'd never seen anything like that in my life. So
they can't give them anything, even with the history?
I don't remember the history exactly, and I was still in orientation, but it was, I don't really exactly remember why, but yeah, and I don't think she could sit still. Like, she could not sit still for her life. And with an epidural, like, you have to sit very still in order for them to get it in the right spot.
Okay, so have you always, of course not on orientation, but have you always worked nights pretty much?
Yes, except for obviously when I was a school nurse and when I was a tech, I worked days as well. But yeah, no, since then I've always worked nights. Yeah.
So how many years do you think it's been?
5.
Oh my God, I didn't even, I could barely make it to a year, and I was like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. So what is it about nights? Why nights?
Oh gosh, nights are just, I think it's the team. It's the not having a million people and a million distractions there. Mm-hmm. Like, it's
Absolutely.
being able to like solely focus on the patient. Like, I've always been so passionate about patient-oriented care. Mm-hmm. Like, that is my number one. Like, yes, charting is important, obviously, but like, if it comes to like taking care of your patient or sitting down to like get your charting out of the way, no, like, if you need something, I'm going to be in the room.
Yeah, of course.
So I feel like you're able to do that a lot more on nights as a nurse than you are on days, because on days you have the doctors that are rounding, you have residents potentially that are rounding as well, then you have a lot more family that's typically there. So it's just, and management, of course. We have actually management on nights where I work, which I like, because you do have that little bit of support, but it's not like the entire management team is there.
Yes.
So I think just all those things combined, and my perspective, not saying that it's correct, but I think that on nights, I work better with those personalities. Like, I feel like it's a lot of type B. And I'm type B. I'm like, yeah, we're going to go with the flow. We'll figure this out. Like, we got it.
Do you foresee yourself switching to days in the near future?
Oh, gosh. That's such a loaded question. I feel like sometimes I think about it, because when I did general surgery, like, I did do a short stint on days, and I was like, wow, I'm like getting up at a normal time and like going to the gym. And this just feels like so luxurious and like a different way. But then it was like, you're not getting that extra pay bump. Like, the team, in my opinion, like, wasn't as great, but I think it was really just the hospital that I worked at that point. But I think I don't know, I kind of thrive on nights right now, so I don't know that I like foresee myself switching to days. But man, you're exhausted after those 3 in a row, or even after that 12. When you're given a report to day shift, you're like, the patient is alive. Sometimes, like, but like, I give them full report and I tell them everything that's going on. But it's like, the fact that you made it through the 12-hour shift, like staying awake the entire time and like providing care to your patients, and they're all safe and taken care of, I feel is like a miracle in and of itself.
Oh yeah.
And if you've never worked nights, I feel like you can't fully understand that, because you have a normal sleep schedule, and there's just so much to be said for that, like for your mental and physical health, 100%. So I can see like positives and negatives to both, of course. Nights work for me for right now at this period in my life. And why would I change something that's working?
Yeah. For less money.
Yeah. For less money.
Yeah. It comes out to like almost $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
Literally. It's a big difference.
Yes. A big difference.
Yeah. When I was working nights, I just remember like I would have to put myself on like a fluid restriction after like I think I did it at like 4 or 5. I think I tried both times because I think my cortisol was so high that like even if I did a fluid restriction and stopped drinking any water, I would be so groggy and like out of it by the time you get out of the shower and eat something and then go to bed.
Yeah.
And I would finally get in bed. And then I would wake up like an hour later, like stumbling, like tripping on my steps because I'm so tired and out of it.
Yeah.
But I would just have to pee.
Yeah.
But I haven't, I had a couple sips with like whatever food I ate. Or, like I was restricting myself, and I would always have to wake up and pee. And I found that the most irritating part of working nights, and I don't know why.
One of the things within nursing that is also just so important is communication. If you don't know how to communicate with other people, you are not going to thrive. Across different hospitals, it's so different how you communicate with providers, days, nights. Like some hospitals, like, yeah, like we want you to call. You have to call.
I would hate that.
Right? And then some hospitals are like, oh, you can just message me. You can just text me.
And it also goes between providers.
Yes.
Because I love when I can just send an Epic message and it's like, hey, please see, blood pressures and flow sheets. And they'll go, okay, we'll just continue to monitor for now or whatever their response is. But it's so nice. But calling every time, but then they always sound annoyed when you call. It's like, just let me send you a text message.
Yeah.
I also know someone who works. And anyway, the doctors want you to personally text them to their cell phone, everything. It's not even through Epic.
Yeah.
Like labs and all that stuff. I'm like, that is horrible because you have no way of.
Yeah.
Like in a court setting, like where are you going to subpoena my personal text messages now because of that? I would be like working there. I'd be like, absolutely not. Log into Epic and look at your messages there.
And that's how it was like at the small hospital where I worked in South Carolina. Like, but they were like, don't call me, like just text me. And I was like so sketched about it because like you either secure chat message or you're calling them. That's it. Yeah.
Anyway, but. Yeah, no nights ever again for me. You're the nights queen.
Yeah. For now.
Yeah, I was actually talking to someone who got floated to our unit from a mom-baby floor, and she said she absolutely loves it. However, the only thing is like the skills. You kind of lose some skills because it's so broad, and everyone is the majority of the time kind of healthy. She's like, I barely do any IVs and I barely do like any other like kind of task.
Yeah.
So she's like, that's the only negative thing I'll say is that like I feel like my tasks and my skills are kind of taking a.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way?
I honestly don't feel the same way, especially where I work now. We just see so much with all the different patients that we get, and like we start IVs, we draw our own labs, we float to NICU. We float to women's care. So we have like surgery patients and like little feeder growers. And like, so I feel like I feel like I'm learning.
That's awesome.
More where I'm at now. So I like that. Like some people are like, oh, I hate to float. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like it's not your own unit, but there is something too about floating to a different unit where you just get to learn so much more that you would have never been able to learn had you just stayed where you were at.
Exactly.
And that's what nursing is all about, I feel like, sometimes.
Absolutely. Did you like being floated to NICU? What did you think?
I honestly, I liked it for the most part. So the way that it works at my hospital is you have to have at least 3 like orientation floats, if not more, before they put you on your own to go and float over there. And they give you like a smaller assignment and like obviously just like feeder growers. So when I went over there, like the first time I was kind of nervous because I didn't know you just don't know what to expect
of course.
if you've never been somewhere. So I was like, I don't know what to expect. But then the nurse that oriented me was amazing, taught me everything, like, and yeah, just hands-on, and I learned by doing.
Same.
So she was like, I learned by doing, so you're gonna do. And I was like, great. I was like, I love this.
This works out.
Sometimes I feel like when you orient, you're just kind of standing watching and you don't know like when they want you to step in and start doing stuff. So she was like, yeah, I learned by doing. You're gonna learn by doing. I'm like, wonderful. Wonderful. I love this. Okay. And just did it and went from there, and then had another orientation night not too long ago, and it was really good as well. We had a baby in an isolette, so that was new. Yeah. I was like, this patient in this little like box, like how do I get, like, I just felt so like fragile and like out of my element. But like then, you know, as the night progressed, I was like, oh, he's doing okay in there. He's doing good.
Very odd when you start working and you're like, this baby's literally in a box.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. So interesting and cool to like again witness something like that. Like, this baby is just thriving in this little
clear box.
Greenhouse. It's like a little greenhouse for a baby.
It's so cute.
So overall good so far, I would say. But
could you ever foresee yourself switching to NICU down the road, or are you a mom-baby nurse for life?
I'm not opposed, but I think right now I just really love Mom-Baby, and I'm like finally back where I feel like I really belong. So I think Mom-Baby is the place for me.
That's awesome.
For the foreseeable future.
Let yourself enjoy it.
Yes.
I think you've tried enough new things. I'm not that way. I feel like the longer I'm a nurse, the less new things I want to try, which I think is negative. I should not be that way. But it is scary because like some things are just scary. So different.
Yes.
Like, yes, okay, I'm a nurse, but like if you were to put me on this unit, I would know not nothing, but I would know close to nothing. Yes. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
I feel like once you get in your zone, in your element, and you've been working there for a while, and I even know people like nurses who are like, I really don't like where I work, but stay there because they know that chaos. They're like, I prefer to know my chaos than go pursue another chaos. And I'm like, I don't understand that. For me, I'm like very like, I quickly figure out like this is either not for me or, you know, I'm going to be here as long as I can.
Yeah.
Depending on what life brings. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. I guess I just have a totally different perspective than like some other people do. But like, I also like have friends who are like, have stayed like within that specialty that they started in, and just they love it. They love everything about it. They love the patient population, like, and it's for them. And that's so cool to like go into nursing and like immediately know what you want. And that was something about labor and delivery that I was like, wow. Some of the nurses that I met, they've only worked labor and delivery because they know this is a place for me. I was like, wow.
How awesome is that?
Yeah.
Like, that can't happen for everyone?
Yeah, I know. Like, why didn't I get a little message about that? And I think labor and delivery also taught me not to be a perfectionist. I'm such a perfectionist. Like, I want everything to go just right. Like, everything, like, to go perfectly, all my charting be done, like, give perfect report, tie it in a bow, give it to day shift. Like, that's what I want. That's always what I want. But does it happen? No. And I feel like labor and delivery of all the places like fully really taught me to kind of start to let go of that perfectionism. There's this saying in Swedish and it says, livet behöver inte vara perfekt för att vara underbar. And it means life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful.
Oh, I love that.
And I kind of live by that quote because I feel like in nursing, you want everything to go perfect, of course, for your patient. You want the best outcome always. But is that reality? Not necessarily.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot of lifelong learning, like life lessons, along with just learning about patient care. And
Absolutely.
I think that's what's honestly the best part about nursing.
Oh. So has your perspective on having a child changed after working in women's?
100%.
Yeah.
I think I see a lot of moms, it's like their first time and they're so overwhelmed. They don't know what to like expect. But then you do also have those first time moms that are kind of like, are you sure you don't have another baby at home?
I know.
Like, are you a nurse?
Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like I am such a planner, and it's just not something that you can plan for. Like birth plan, forget it, throw it out the window. Like I've just learned so much within the nursing realm, and like my NICU friend and I have talked a lot about like, what would it be like to be just blissfully unaware again and go into it
Yeah.
and go into it. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I wish. I know. I was talking to someone about that not too long ago where I was just like, I know everything that can go wrong and it's absolutely terrifying.
Yes.
And it's like, how awesome would it have been if I had a kid at like 24, 25 when I don't know anything at all?
Yes.
At least I would be so scared.
Yes. Yeah.
There's pros and cons, of course, because it's like,
Definitely.
if something happens, I know to like what to do and to seek
Yeah.
medical attention for, you know, this
Yes.
and that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to be like a big ball of anxiety.
Yeah. My husband's like, but you know so much. And I'm like, I know a lot, maybe too much.
Yeah.
But like, I think also that it gives you so much like education and preparation in certain realms of like that women's world that you would have never had you not been a mom baby nurse, a labor and delivery nurse, a NICU nurse that you have now. So I think that it like prepares you like for what's to come, like if you want kids, or maybe it helps you figure out that you don't want to have kids.
That is true.
That is like, I feel like such a good place to learn that because you're constantly hands-on with a baby in one way or the other. So I had some friends from California come visit us recently, and they have an 8-month-old. And gosh, Gabby is she's the sweetest person ever. And her husband is my husband's best friend from childhood.
Oh,
So, she's like, we're talking, she's telling me all her struggles with breastfeeding and all of these things. And she tells me, she's like, Emily, based on everything that you're telling me, like, I can just totally see how you're just the best mom baby nurse.
Aww.
And I was like, that is just to hear from someone that's like, you know, a good friend and who just had a baby that's 8 months and it's like her first time going through all of it and just talking through like all of her anxieties as a new mom is just, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
And that's like what I really love about Mom Baby too, is like it applies to your personal world as well, because we're in that age of our lives where like a lot of like friends and family are having kids. And I'm like, and they're like, Emily, you got this. Like, if you want a kid, you got this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, sure, maybe.
Yeah, it's nice to relate to people on that level. Yeah,
definitely.
I definitely have friends who, of course, have already had children and all of that. And
Yeah.
I felt so in the know or in the loop
Yes.
because I was like, oh, I completely understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm also excited to like, I'm not scared to be a mom in terms of like,
Yeah.
okay, like a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Right.
But when you pass me my newborn, I'm gonna know
Right.
exactly what to do.
Yes.
And that is such a nice feeling.
Yes, definitely.
Like I might be a new mom, but I'm not scared of it at all. I look forward to it.
Yes.
Okay, the labor and delivery part, I'm terrified of.
Right.
That I'm kind of like, it's good that I don't know everything about that. I'm glad. But yeah, when it comes to babies, I'm like, pass me that baby. I know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to get that kind of perspective before I'm even in it.
Right. Exactly.
And like I get paid to do this.
Right.
And then now I know how to take care of my babies. It's
crazy. Yeah. No, it's just such a sweet, loving perspective on life that most people will never get.
I know.
So we're blessed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What has your favorite aspect of nursing been so far?
I think just the absolute lifelong learning aspect of it, the educating the patients and making these lifelong friends. Like these people that understand you to your core because they know what you do. They know what you do, and then you come home and you're a person. Like you function as a normal person after witnessing things that people will never witness or should have to witness. So making those friends within your nursing world is just, it's life-changing and so heartwarming. Like even us, like after 2 years of not seeing each other, you reach out to me, you're like, hey, Emily, want to come on this podcast? Sure. That sounds like fun. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's
So
awesome. Yeah.
I don't know, making friends and learning and being able to take care of people. Like I always knew like I'm going to take care of people. Like I nannied before I was a nurse and just loved kids and was like, I have that like just like caregiver in me. And I feel like God really like placed me where I needed to be as far as my career goes.
That's so sweet. So looking ahead, what kind of nursing do you plan to focus on?
I think, like I said, for right now, I think I need to settle for a little bit and just stay in Mom-Baby. I've been a little bit all over the place just because of life circumstances, moving and all that kind of stuff. And then also just like, there's that part of me that just like wants to adventure. Like adventure within your nursing career.
Yeah.
Like try something new, do it. But I've tried the new things and I feel like now I just love women's. So I don't think I'll ever leave women's ever. Like I
don't think I will either. I cannot imagine going back to like general, like men, women. Ugh.
No. And that's the thing too. It's like you're solely working with women and women are amazing. I mean, look at what we can do.
I know.
We can birth a baby and take care of them and still work.
I know. Unfortunately, but yeah. With only 3 months.
Right.
How much do you get off in Sweden?
Oh my gosh. In Sweden, you get a year paid maternity leave. Yeah. Have I considered moving there? Definitely.
Is your husband, was he born here?
Yeah, he's born and raised in the US. So he does not know Swedish, but he's learning. I told him he needs to learn because it's going to be me and the baby speaking Swedish and he's not going to know what's going on.
That's going to be so sweet.
Yeah. Because my mom taught me Swedish since I was a baby. So I feel like if you start young with a language, that's the best way for them to learn it. Yeah.
Are you fluent?
Yeah.
Okay, can you say something like cool, like just something random? I know you already did it, but
gosh. Jag älskar att vara en sjuksköterska.
Okay, what'd you say?
I love being a nurse.
Oh, I love that. If you could go back in time and give your baby nurse self a piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't be scared of anyone. We're all people at the end of the day. Like, no one should intimidate you. We're all people trying to take care of other people. And there's nothing like it. If you're meant for nursing, like you're going to figure it out. And I think also just that everything is going to work out. Like, I'm such a planner that I think like, oh, what's the next step? Like 2 years from now. Who knows? Who cares? And that's kind of how nursing is. Like, what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes? You don't know.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's another reason why nursing is really good for me. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So if someone were to come to you and say, I'm thinking about becoming a nurse, what would you say?
Do it. Do it. I have no regrets. I have some friends who feel opposite, but I just have had such a good nursing experience. And even in my lows of nursing, I mean, nothing compares to the highs. Like there's no other job where you can do what we do and touch people's lives so intimately in the way that we do. Nothing.
I agree. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
I had a great time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right, guys. Do not forget to subscribe. Bye.
Bye.